Well, the title of this video is going to be Silver Politically Incorrect, and I assume that's going to hit their advertiser filters. Now, I want to actually get on to exactly what the YouTube policy is with the advertiser friendly, in case you don't know. And of course, they're going to review this video, and I know they're going to hear this, but it's nothing to do with the advertisers because I've been running some little tests in which I really did know that it really has to do with the money behind the scenes not wanting their political agendas or their corporate agendas or their power agendas being violated. It has nothing to do with the advertising. So it's really like Communist Network News, Apartheid Broadcasting Corporation, Nazi Broadcast NBC, Nazi Broadcasting Corporation, Fox, fascists, oligarchs of the X Factor. I don't know. But really, it has to do with obvious what's going on. They don't want you saying certain things. So on this video, I'm actually going to say more. This video is going to be uploaded on DTube too. Now, my YouTube videos, honestly, where I'm probably get the most hits is on MacGyver type stuff. Redneck, how to do things, hands-on. Some of the car videos, not the car show videos, but the actual fixing the cars themselves videos, showing people how to do things, and some of the health things. That's about it. Usually the silver videos don't do that much anyway, so I'll put them on here. But if they want to just say they're advertiser unfriendly due to political incorrectness, well, they're going to be up on DTube too. And DTube is not a money winner either. So I'm going to tell you that right now. But I'm here to fight the powers, just like Granny. Remember Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies? You mean a war between the Yankees and the Americans? Yeah, yeah. That was an obvious thing too back then. They were getting people off the boat in New York, and before they even spoke English, they'd stick them in a blue uniform and have them go down south and fight, and they were coming back in boxes. That's how that deal was. But I'm going to get on to some things here with, we're going to actually give you a little bit of Boss Hog insight versus some of the Rothschild insight and everything. I did mention before that George Soros has already lost $1 billion shorting the market. One of the reasons I thought the markets was going to go down, and I figured Soros knew what the hell was going on. He's already lost $1 billion shorting the market. Not that he's losing money overall, but that was one area he really made a bad bet. So it goes to show you, the elite don't really know everything, okay? And, that's where sometimes you got to keep up the faith and keep hope, because the elite screw up. They're human too. They're very smart. They're very ambitious. They're not lazy. It's not like God's going to make them just fall apart. I'm not going to buy into that garbage. It's like you're going to make them fall apart by just sticking in for your own individual rights. The Rothschilds have been moving out of the U.S. dollar. That's one other thing. So and actually, since Trump got in office, even though the dollar's still strong on the index, it's dropped a lot. I mean, initially it went up right when he got elected, and then it's been dropping a lot ever since then. I personally think that Soros, even though he's still betting that the market's going to come down, I think the markets are going to start coming down at the end of 2017, probably in October, which is just, next month. I think that's when it's going to start happening. I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't, Soros is wrong too. I mean, so who the hell am I? Am I smarter than Soros? Maybe. But, yeah, I got some redneck intelligence, so anyway. But I want to put the APB out here for, like, you silver people. One of the things I've been harping on, which is a little bit unique about silver. Now, we just had the Hurricane Irma in Florida, and also in Texas they had Hurricane Harvey. It's interesting that, what do you do when you really have a collapse? It's like you're thinking about, silver coins. The one thing I think about with that silver is that I could stick them in water barrels and keep the water pure longer. And that actually is one of the things that's going to make silver a true survival metal. What I think, though, is a problem is if we have some really bad problem in the economy. I don't know if it's going to get that crazy, but if it did get really, really bad, um, silver as a barter item may not be that great unless people start understanding that it's great. It's really good for medicinal purposes, disinfectant purposes, and to preserve water. And maybe you wash your clothes in the water with silver and a little bit of soap, or you make some colloidal silver to sterilize bandages, right? Or something like that, right? Then I think it's going to have practical trading value, but not until people start understanding that. The other metals don't have those types of advantages, so that's one thing that you really want to look at that angle with silver more than anything. Um, I also want to mention about with palladium, if the markets come down severely, palladium is going to get hammered. Palladium right now is over $900 an ounce, and I remember telling people, "Hurrah, hurrah!" It was over $850 an ounce, and I know one of my subscribers bought it. I said that was not advice to buy it at that point. I was just glad it was that high, but palladium follows the stock markets very carefully. Silver may or may not. It is very much a wild animal, and I know that prices are very much controlled on the spot market. Even if you look back all the way to 2000, there's been ongoing lawsuits by the oil trading community, not just the silver, but it affects oil trading and metals trading, and even by a former head of NYMEX trying to, ongoing lawsuits against the price fixing, in the commodities. So, I know there's price fixing going on, but it's something that, um, it's not that. I look at, like, again, I want to repeat this. The one thing that's really the backup to the backup with silver is the fact that it has medicinal and antibacterial properties. You could like I had this rain barrel outside. I put calcium hypochlorite in it, pool shock and tap water, and I was using that during a time when the electricity was out. And I also put that in my 5-gallon containers, which I had probably about 30 of those and some 12-gallon containers. But if I didn't have that and I had silver coins, I can always put them in the water to help keep it pure or to purify it, or make some colloidal silver with some 9-volt batteries that could be recharged with solar panels. So that's one reason I think if that becomes more common knowledge, and it gets broadcast by Boss Hogg, that's what really is why silver is a survival metal, not just this spot price, then it's going to have big tradable power. In other words, you'll be able to trade, an ounce of silver for maybe a lot of food, because people realize, hey, that ounce of silver can disinfect thousands of gallons of water, right? By making it into colloidal silver. So that'll be a big, give silver a lot more strength during a crisis. Right now, people don't know this. It's not common knowledge. Now, one thing I want to bring up again, which I brought up a couple times before, that in times of crisis, the government tries to stay alive and stay afloat no matter what. Back in the Great Depression was the first time that they initiated sales tax in the states. This is one of the themes about, states' rights over central power rights. Well, I tell you what, all the governments are getting overhanded. It's like we got way, way, way too much government, not just at a federal level, but it's also a state level, a county level, you name it, all across the board. They're involved in everything there is, but they are a union or a political action committee unto themselves, and they will try to survive in times of economic crisis. So what happened during the Great Depression was the states was seeing their revenue streams go dropping and dropping and dropping. That is when they instituted, I think it was 26 or 27 states in the 1930s, You can see all these dark blue states here in color dark blue, like Washington, California, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Idaho, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, West Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama, and Mississippi, all during the Great Depression times in the 1930s. Oh, just over half the states and Hawaii instituted sales tax to stay afloat. So this is one of the things I think they'll try to do. I don't know what kind of tax they would levy on people, but in 1932, on a national level, people were dirt poor. The farmers were having a hard time, and farming is very much an energy-intensive business. For you have to run the tractors and all the machinery, and also agricultural products and pesticides and fertilizers are made with byproduct, products from the oil industry. They raised a tax on gasoline, 1932, to shore up the federal government money. So, and I'm going to tell you, I don't really think the cryptocurrencies are the solution. I've been talking about DTube. I mean, that thing doesn't make me any money for crap. I can tell you that right now. But I might put this video on DTube because I think I'm going to bring out more things on DTube than I ever will on YouTube, because they've gotten so restrictive now. They've been noticing cat videos, which I have to put manual reviews on, which I only put them up there for fun, and they got a yellow icon on a cat video. This happens several times on a cat video, even a classic car video. I don't even know what the hell they're doing with these filters. And I know all the major media, they can put everything controversial thing out there. They got clear sailing all the way. So it's really a policy against the independent producers. That's really what it is. So Boss Hogg knows the deal, and Boss Hogg was actually one of my favorite characters on the Dukes of Hazzard. I think him and Cooter are my two favorites. Cyril Book was actually a very intelligent guy, but Boss Hogg, he sees the situation, and we're going to fix it, me and him. So anyway, the good old boys are going to get together and fix this. I'm going to probably put some of this information out on DTube. Now, I'm going to tell you this. For you people that got Trump on the brain, I'm going to tell you right now, Trump is compromised. He's been compromised from day one. I was always suspicious about him, with him being buddy-buddy with... I know you're going to say, you're going to get mad at me because I can't stand Hillary Clinton, all right? I didn't like... Initially, I was for Cruz, and I says, oh... Then Cruz talked a little bit more, and I says, Cruz is a piece of garbage. Bernie Sanders, I didn't like... God, he's communist, I mean, what's left? Trump, okay? But I'm not realizing this guy's going to save him. I'm realizing this guy's not going to save America. And it's a game. And they own him. And I'm going to tell you partly how they own him. You know how he was buddy-buddy with Bill Clinton forever? Bill Clinton's a horn dog. You know that. He was on the Lolita Express, and here's where YouTube is going to say, oh, you can't say this, advertiser unfriendly. He was on the Lolita Express down to the islands with, Epstein's Lolita, the underage girls. You know why he was in with Bill Clinton. You know that. You know why they were buddy-buddy. And actually, every politician out there, even if they're not Lolita Island types, they're like George H.W. Bush with the teenage boys, okay? And YouTube, you love me for this. But that's a fact. I knew this crap before the internet was around. It's like I didn't learn this from the internet. I knew this from people in the military that are dropping dimes on this stuff way before the internet might have been around in, like, on a 286 computer, way before Pentium, on a text bulletin board or an email that hardly anybody ever used. It was around, but this information, I knew about the Clintons way before the internet was around. I knew way before YouTube was putting this stuff out, and I didn't need to watch it was just but most people, the reality is, though, it doesn't reach most people unless it's out on the internet and people can actually see it a lot. So that's one of the problems. Now, actually, I'm pretty much old school. Here's a poster from the Marine Corps. Want action? Join the USMC. Could you imagine them posting this thing today? They would never do it. And I tell you right now, the military's gone to crap to the max because we got so many PC asswipes in here. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, I want to get you. I want to even before I even get on to some other things, I want to even tell you some more. I've been hearing like somebody's. It depends. I'm pretty much. You can know on my channel, I'm pretty much on the pro Confederate cause. I know it was not over what the victors of the war say it was. Oh, we fought to free the slaves. Yeah, no, yeah, you didn't, because the North was profiting immensely by slavery. The textile mills up north were profiting by the rum distilleries with the raw sugar cane made by slaves. Oh, they loved the low prices on the raw goods that were going in. They were actually profiting even more by it. Plus, they were still running slave ships even after international slave market was illegal, including the Walker family, which is George Herbert Walker Bush Walker, that slave ships, right? Now, anybody in the Marine Corps that wants to play the PC thing, I'm going to tell you right now, you're looking at Lieutenant General John Archer Lejeune. We always call it Lejeune, Camp Lejeune. I don't even know why that is, but there's no R in there, but that's how they say it, man. If you're ever down at Camp Lejeune, Camp Lejeune, 13th Commandant in the U.S. Marine Corps. His father was Confederate States Army Captain Lejeune, and with 3 of his maternal uncles served with the Confederate Army of Tennessee. I'll guarantee you, Commandant Lejeune, depends on how you say it, was very much believed that the South's fight for secession was an honorable cause. He was the commandant for the longest stretch of time, almost 40 years. Greatest of all leathernecks, the Marines Marine. Then you had, in addition, Chesty Puller. You probably heard of him. Another Marines Marine, was proud of his Confederate grandfather, who had served in what he referred to as the war between the states, and died in that conflict. Chesty Puller's paternal grandfather was Major John William Puller, 5th Virginia Cavalry, Army of North Virginia. Puller was elected captain of the Gloucester Light Dragoons in 1859. Mustered in as captain of Company A of the 5th, was promoted to major in December 15th, 1862, killed in action at Kelly's Forge in March 1863. Puller's grandmother died of exposure after being put out of her home by federal troops, the Sherman and the Yankees. Also, part of Puller's inheritance, as he was also reminded his family during the reminded around the family dining table that belonged to General Robert E. Lee's aide-de-camp, including great-grandmother shot out of the saddle with Jeb Stuart's cavalry, a great-uncle who commanded the division of Gettysburg, a cousin named General, who later became George S. Patton. Okay? The Confederacy is very much integrated into the USMC. Maybe the politically correct asswipes of today don't want to believe that, but that's how it is. I got to throw that in here, but I'm kind of getting sick of it. Now, one thing I got to say, it's at least in Florida, there's a few places like Marion County where they restored a Confederate flag after it became politically incorrect for about 24 hours. But here I want to actually go back to Trump again. See, this is why I'm suspecting that during the Trump administration, you're going to see the stock markets come down, the dollar's already being devalued, and you're going to see the commodity prices go up, along with silver and gold and platinum and palladium and copper and lead and everything else, and zinc and aluminum and nickel. You're going to see that it's going to bring more hardship to the working class and the people that don't have much money. Food prices are going to go up, partly because of the weather getting colder. It's like this "Make America Great" is going to look so bad that he said this, but he's not a totally bad guy. I think he's got a patriotic streak in him, but they got him. They got him. I know he got dirt on him from the Lolita Express, but he's not I don't know. He's not. Don't put too much faith in this guy. That's what I always say. I mean, it's like he's the best you can hope for. Okay. But here's another quote, and I don't know if it's an absolute perfect quote. It's supposed to be People's Magazine, 1998. If I were to run, I'd run as a Republican. They're the dumbest group of voters of the country. They love anything on Fox News. I can lie and they'd still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific. Um, don't want to knock the guy too much because obviously he's still pissing off some people, which means he's somewhat legit at least. And that's when when you're legit, you're pissing some people off. But it's like people that gullibly just think this guy is going to save the world. Forget about it. It's usually these people that worship law enforcement in the military. Those are the type of people that think Trump is the greatest guy that since sliced bread and blah blah blah. You know what I mean, right? It's like just because you wear a uniform doesn't mean you're a saint, right? Same kind of deal, right? Just because you make great speeches like Ronnie Reagan doesn't mean you're a saint. Now, what does this have to do with the price of silver? This has to do everything because I think during the Trump administration, they're going to try to psychologically hammer the crap out of the people that supported Trump by making America have problems, which means commodity prices are going to go up, which means silver is going to go up. Everybody concentrates, if they're a silver bug, they concentrate on the price of silver. They're always looking at the charts of silver. But when silver goes up, pretty much it's not perfect in unison. But generally speaking, all commodities go up together. Yes, I know sometimes one outpaces the other, but generally speaking, all commodities go up together. Okay? So, that's what happens. Like it's not perfect unison, but when you look at when commodity prices really explode, say you said silver, platinum, palladium, and even gold is going up, and you have, because of world tensions, you'll see zinc up, nickel up, lead up, aluminum up, whatever. That's how it is. Okay, copper, the whole 9 yards, and that's where the fat cats make the money, right? Because that's all on speculation. Now, if you look back, I'm going to tell you, if you remember back, I don't like to rehash this right now, even though maybe it's not exactly related to silver, but remember during the Gulf spill of 2010, when BP had a problem out there, and we thought the whole world was going to get turned into an oil slick, and all the fish were dying, all the oceans, and they put correction in the water, and freaking people were getting sick that lived near the beach and all this garbage. Well, if you really want to give you a classic example, of what really went on, the speculators, which is obvious that Wall Street, particularly Goldman Sachs and people connected with BP, and also even the CEO of BP, he sold out the stocks before it happened. So the insiders are going to know what's going to happen beforehand. Unfortunately, we're not going to know. We're not going to know. But I do say this: if you sell silver, make sure you buy something tangible with it that will last you many years. Do not frivolously just sell the silver and buy some crap that you're going to blow money on, entertainment or some garbage that'll last you 3 years or 2 years, like electronics. That's garbage. You know what I'm saying? You want to stick with things that will last a long time, that your family can use, even if it's farmland or something like that, where you can have a barbecue and be out there with the great outdoors with your little rebel flag and taking a stand against the big guys trying to control us, right? Make sure you get into another asset that will produce something for you for many years if you ever sell your silver, because the problem is, I don't think anybody's going to get it at the exact top. But the most important thing is to remember that you put it into something smart after that, and that is not an electronic investment. Now, I talked about this D-tube a little bit. To tell you the truth, I don't really like D-tube too much, because every time you search for something, it comes back with 10 hits, 10 videos at the most, and I can't organize all my stuff into playlists. It's like if you it's like you can, and I don't even know what the heck Steam It money is. I don't even know who the hell takes Steam It money. So basically, if I put something on DTube, it's basically a freebie for you guys, and I might be doing that if this video gets flagged for some yellow icon or some crap. I'm getting tired of this garbage because the cat videos are getting flagged, and I'm like, what are you doing? Cat video? Give me an orange icon on a cat video. My meow meow is not advertiser friendly. God, holy smokes, man. Anyway, Boss Hog, you're more fair than the freaking people up there in the corporate world. You know, I always liked this guy. He's a good old boy. He's probably like from, I don't know, some Georgia County or some garbage. But as um, you know, the game is all the time. They're always trying to seduce you into something whereby buy this coin, buy this investment. And, you know, Bitcoin, I mean, I was never really hot on these cryptocurrencies, man. It's like I keep thinking, like just last week, the power failure. I mean, just 100 yards away from me, their power was down from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It came on not Saturday, but Sunday. So it was down 5.5 days. And almost 6 days because it went down like I think 4 o'clock on Monday, you know, in the afternoon. Um, and I'm thinking, you know, what if your power goes down? What do you do with crypto money? God, what is that? I mean, even a silver coin. If somebody understands, hey, you know what? This silver coin, you throw it in the bottom of a 50-gallon bucket of water, barrel of water. It'll keep the water from getting mold and bacteria, and you won't die. Okay? They'll understand that. Could I trade it for something, gasoline or whatever? I mean, whatever, you know. But they're always trying to seduce you with these freaking wacky investments. I'm not, you know, and you know, I'm saying this, and I'm probably going to have this video on DTube, but I'm not big on these cryptocurrencies at all. At all, to tell you the truth, I'm big on things that, you know, I call it owned money. Owned money you can put in your hand, which is silver. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Now, one of the things I also want to emphasize, you know, we talk about the um, national government is corrupt. Washington D.C. is corrupt, and you know I always used to say, you know, the heck with the wall by Mexico. Why don't you put the wall around Washington D.C.? You know, that would be better. You know, because I'm not, you know, I could have Bill Clinton check out whatever Mexican chicks we want to come in here first. He could be in charge of that. Anyway, you know, I mean, I don't really mind Bill too much. I don't mind Trump too much, but I know they're a bunch of crap. You know what I mean? But you know, when we talk about corruption at the national level, there's corruption at the state level. There's so many laws going on. It's like, you know, they talk about, yeah, we can fix things with states' rights. Yeah, pff, you kidding me? We could fix things when the government, 90% of the government gets fired. You know? You know, if Trump says you're all fired, that would work, you know, if he did that. He can't do that, though, because they own him. They own him. They know all the dirt on him. Like Comey, you remember FBI Director Comey, the guy that came from you know, HSBC, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corporation, that was involved in a drug laundering that got caught, and Comey was the director, which of course he would have been involved in that too, right? You know, yeah, he's dirty, but then he knows all the dirt on everybody else. He knows all the dirt on Hillary. He knows all the dirt on Trump. There's a lot of dirt on everybody. Everybody's dirty. You know, that's why you don't have to pay them off. Blackmail is like dirt cheap. It doesn't cost you nothing. If you got dirt on somebody, you don't have to give them money. See? Now, if you're looking at states that are corrupt, oh man, New Jersey, Georgia. Georgia's on this list twice. It's making me think twice about, do I want to get land up in North Georgia? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just stick with the Tennessee. New Jersey, Alabama's even on this list twice. See that? Most corrupt for illegal corruption and legal corruption, right? You got Kentucky showing up on both lists, Illinois, which you figure was Chicago, Alabama, New Jersey, Georgia, New Mexico, Pennsylvania. Florida shows up on illegal corruption, not legal. Oh, jeez, I don't know. But you know, it tells you a lot. It tells you a lot of what's really going on. Now, I want to also tell you, because this is one thing where you can really lose the most money out of anything. I always see this all the time with these guys with a lot of money. Oh God, They get hammered by the wife, no matter how much money they got. Who was that guy? Rupert Murdoch. He must have paid the most. You think he's an evil guy. His wife is 10 times more evil. Evil. What did she get? $1 billion or something? I'm like, holy smokes, what's the matter with these guys? This is where, and this is going to be politically incorrect too. I always said there should be a hotline. Call 1-800-Taliban to get your wife trained. Call up the Sharia law guys. Have them call them up, pay them 10 grand, and have them train your wife for 6 months. Whatever, 3 months, whatever. She goes away in a little boot camp. She comes back. She wears whatever, a leash, and she's done. Now, here you got the guy, because a woman's love is measured on a calculator. And as you see, she's talking to the guy here. You own the firm. I just started today. Ooh, I love you. Yeah, I love your firm. I love your money. Here's you got Extortion magazine, right? 10 ways to verify your next man's net worth. New property distribution to make things easier. Say goodbye to prenups. One guy I worked for, he did have a prenup. That was smart. How many divorces can I file in a 5-year period? Divorce law is listed in all 50 states. See, this is where you screw up the most. Right here. And if you want to save money, right here, save up to 50% with homely chicks. Just don't tell them they're homely. Tell them they're hot. Okay? That could be your most valuable financial advice you'll ever know. Right here. Okay? Yeah. Okay? You see my horns on my head? You can't see them, right? But this kid knows what the hell's up. Alright? I ain't stupid. Alright? And, slam bam. Thank you, ma'am. See you later. So there you go. Ha ha. That's it. So, now, I personally, this should be the love of my life right here. Granny. You mean the war between the Yankees and the Americans? Granny, yeah, she'd be alright. Ellie Mae and Granny. What a team. Anyway, Ellie Mae, the Lolita side of Granny. But that would be okay, And, I don't fault Trump and Clinton going to Lolita Island. I don't really give a crap. To tell you the truth, I don't really give a damn. And actually, it would be kind of funny if everybody was thinking like me, because they would think, oh, the elite would be thinking, oh, we got him by the cojones, because we got him. I'd be like, so what? He went to Lolita Island. Who else didn't go there? You probably, all you other elitists who are accusing him of it went there too. I think you all went there. So, what are you kidding me? Right? That's the way I look at it. I mean, you ought to see what stuff goes on in the military. I'm going to even tell you this. You're going to get pissed off at this. I just threw in a lot of good stuff about the Marine Corps. But if you look, who was that guy? Commandant Gray, Al Gray. Now, I didn't know this when I was in the Marine Corps I heard it when I was in the Marine Corps, but I didn't believe it. But he was, then I heard it, then I started getting more verification of it. Al Gray was 100% gay. The guy was a commandant. The guy that was restored the Marine Corps, changed things from more combat orientated. And it was cool. He got rid of those stupid faggot red shorts they used to make us wear. We used to have to wear a white t-shirt and red shorts. I was like, this is gay looking. And that would be the PT gear, right? And he changed the green shorts, olive drab green shorts with olive drab green t-shirts, right? And I'm thinking, well, that's cool. That's really good. I mean, I liked all the stuff he was doing. He changed everything around more combat orientated, right? Everything. He was really good, actually. But the guy was 100% gay. But you know what I start thinking? I said, how the hell did this guy get to be commandant in the Marine Corps and go through all the top ranks in the Marine Corps being gay? Obviously, there must be a whole bunch of other gays in there. And you know what's going on? They were slamming all these other people on the bottom, on the lower levels for the freaking gayness, which I don't think belongs in the Marine Corps at all. Period. No gays, no lesbians, no transgenders, none of that shit. Period. You don't have that. Because the Marine Corps is all about military readiness. But obviously, on the top, there must be a lot of gays in the military. Big time. In the general levels. Because how the hell did Al Gray be freaking 100% gay? This guy wasn't even like, he didn't even like women. He just liked guys. Period. You know that? That was the shit that was going on. This is modern times. This was in I don't know, the 90s or some shit, right? 90s or 80s or some shit, right? So that tells you what the hell's the reality of the situation is. That's how it is in the military. That's how it is with the politicians. That's, probably looking at Hazard County in Georgia is probably freaking way more. It's better than that. Now, this is my kind of Marine One action, yeah. But um, that's the reality of the situation. That's it. All these politicians are corrupt as all hell. Trump, they got him. They got him, man. And they can get him on this. There's another thing they got. You notice that a psychiatrists were coming out and saying he's got a mental disorder. That's like you have a mental disorder if I don't like you. If I didn't, this is another thing too. You ever see the left psychiatrists? About 90 something percent of them are left leaning to the max. They hate this Trump guy because he's not left leaning. I mean, I know he's not perfect. Okay, that was my whole point. Don't trust every little thing he says because he can't do this all the stuff he says. Even if you want it, even if you wanted to do everything, he can't do it. He can't do it. Period. That's just how it is. Um, I'm hoping as little cooperation with the government as possible is probably the best way to do it. And maybe moonshine's going to save us. Who knows? But the deal is that Trump is basically owned by the freaking powers, deep state, the whole thing, 9 yards, no matter how you put it. They got him. They got him. It's like there's no such thing as an absolute perfect person. Problem is, we got people watch the major media, and the major media can make a mountain out of a molehill, and they can make a mountain down into a molehill on people that they like. Like with Hillary, God, that broad, she's a freaking, as Bill Clinton once said about her, she likes eating pussy more than he does, and he likes it a lot. He likes doing that a lot. So it's like, it's like no problem. They won't put that on the major news. That's why this video is probably going to go on DTube, because I'm going to probably drop some more dimes about a lot of stuff on DTube, and I don't know what the hell it's going to do for me because I don't understand. Even if I got Steam It money, I don't even know what the hell you do with it. Okay, what the heck's that? Steam It money. Thank you. Anyway. I do know that you can save up to 50% on women with homely chicks. I do know that. And that is probably one of your most important advices going. Don't go for them glitter bitches because once you scrub the makeup off, they look like everything else too. They all look the same. Boss Hog will tell you that right now. So anyway, you know, as far as like what I think is going to happen with silver, I think that, well, we do know that there's an inverse relationship between, and Boss Hog here is thinking right now, there's an inverse relationship between gold and the markets. The markets, I think, are going to come down, and as the uncertainty goes up, the gold is going to go up. Also, I forgot to mention this. Trump's talking about blowing up North Korea and stuff. I think that's a total diversion because as they see major problems coming up, what do they do? When major problems in the economy, they go to war. The North Koreans, I know, are a bunch of bad guys. Fine, I know that, but they're not so stupid as they want to attack the United States. It's called suicidal. They're not suicidal. You know what I mean? And they would never try to, even if they had a nuke that could blow up part of the United States, they wouldn't do that because they would be obliterated. There would be nothing left of them. They'd be like target practice. There'd be nothing left. They wouldn't do that. Even if they had like 5,000 nukes, they would do it. If they have 2 nukes, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Besides, they could probably get shot out of the sky right away. But they're using this as an excuse to, as a reason, as a diversion as to what's going to be coming up with the economy here. Like the dollar's already sliding down, the commodity prices are creeping up. The markets are at an all-time high. I don't think they're going to stay at an all-time high. I know some people are predicting Dow 50,000, but I don't know. On the bright side, if Dow goes 50,000, Soros going to lose another billion or two, which is great. But I personally don't think he's going to lose, and he's going to keep losing, shorting the market. I think eventually he's going to be right. He's going to be right. So, and the Rothschilds have been pulling out their money from the U.S. dollar and investing it in like the British pound and even the euro, because the dollar is on a slide. I think it's on a long-term slide. I think that's going to be one of the ways to readjust the debt situation with the United States is by devaluing the dollar. Great, huh? Anyway, this definitely is not Communist Network news. This is Sci 7 news. And this video will probably be up on YouTube. And, you know, it's kind of a test pilot for these YouTube freaking filters. I'm getting sick of them. I'm like, you know, what are they doing, man? They don't like cats anymore? They don't like cats? Freaking. I'm like, you know, God, man. I did actually, you know, like I said, I don't. The main stuff, you know, what I make, and I'm going to keep doing this stuff, is the MacGyver stuff because it's very useful to you people. Like, you know, different different little tricks I know from these old school mechanic tricks and how to do stuff tricks. Those videos and some of the health videos are actually the bread and butter for me on YouTube. Not the silver videos, not the cat videos, not the car show videos, which, you know, so if I got to put the silver videos up on DTube, fine, you know, whatever. And if you think I'm going to be making money on it, if I did make money on it, I wouldn't even know how the hell that steam it dollar crap works in a million years anyway. So, you know, don't go accusing me of this and that shit because, you know, sometimes you get these haters out there going, shit. Are you kidding me? I could be working in a CPA firm all the time, but I like doing this stuff more. And I go in there every week, though. I still go in a CPA firm all the time, but I don't go in there every day. I could be in there all the time. I could be making a lot more money. But this is more fun. And I always like doing what's more fun. You know, I keep doing this shit. So I can kind of do what I want on here, even with these yellow icons and stuff, you know. But anyway, over and out. We'll probably have some other videos on Willard water. I'm gonna be getting hot on that shit. I've been giving my cats Willard water lately in their food. If you know what that is, if you looked at some other videos, it's like a super nutrient uptaker. I figure I want my cats to live to be about 35, 40, 50. So, you know, I want to live to be at least, you know, 250. So I've been taking that stuff every day. And, you know, that's more important than having a bunch of money. Having good health and being long-lived, a million years. So, anyway, over and out from Boss Hog Country. And, you know, keep the faith. And, you know, if there's one smart cookie out there, that's Boss Hog. So you remember this guy. This guy is going to lead us out of the woods. All right? Over and out.